Welcome back, everyone, to Lanterns of London, episode 5. I am Xander Warden, RGM. I am joined by Elliot, Sean, Reno, Nick, and Anusha. Tonight's episode starts about a little bit more than a month since the last time we saw all of our protagonists together. There has been another murder. Another woman slain by the serial killer now known as Jack the Ripper. The date is November 10th. It's early morning. The last of the Ripper victims was found the night before, rather the morning before. A lone man crosses a bridge over the Thames. He shuffles as though he's not entirely there, as though his attention somehow divided. He reaches the middle of the bridge over the water. In the early morning hour, he is the only soul on the bridge. Cocking his head as though hearing a sound only he can hear, he steps up onto the balustrade. He takes a step out into empty air and falls. No one is within earshot to hear the sound of him crashing into the cold water. His eyes snap to full alertness as a silent scream sends silvery bubbles to the surface of the Thames. The shock of the cold water causing him to reflexively draw breath, taking in the murky water as he sinks down into the dark. Another week passes. It is Sunday, the 18th of November, just after midnight. And I would like every member of our party to make a perception check. Perception notice, please.
Danger?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's to sense danger.
Oh no.
0 levels of success for Tristan.
Okay.
4 for Nathaniel.
Perception.
5 for Alice.
How dare you?
Perception notice.
I am coming for your brand.
2 levels of success for Edmund.
Understood.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. That is 2 levels of success, a 12.
Understood. Alice, the quarters you are staying in are not as opulent as the ones you were in a month ago. You are still not entirely back into your matron's good graces. You toss and turn in your sleep. And as your eyes open in the dark, you can hear echoing, strange, eerie sound, like music. Like the music you are hearing right now.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
As far as you can tell, it's coming from everywhere.
I'm going to get out of bed, put on like a dressing gown, and just sort of poke my head out into the hallway. Can I
You
still
look-
hear it?
You can. Looking out into the hallway, it is dark. There is only the light of the moon coming in at a window, the far end of the hall. You are in one of the rooms on a lower floor. You still have a room to yourself, unlike most of these rooms along this hallway, which are bunk rooms. Several beds piled in for the young girls staying at the school. You can see each of the doors of those bunk rooms is standing open.
I'll go over and take a look inside.
You round the corner. This room is usually tightly packed. 6 sets of bunk beds, enough to hold a dozen girls in a room that is quite small. And each of those beds sits empty. The bedclothes still disturbed, the beds unmade. A thing that you know in this school does not happen when they are empty.
I'm gonna go looking for them, just around the general lower floor, just seeing if like anybody is around.
As you go down the corridor, each of the rooms is the same. And as you reach the end, you see the light coming in through the window is obscured ever so slightly by the thick fog pressed against the panes.
Oh, this isn't right. Okay, I am now freaked out enough. I'm gonna go, as low as I am to do it, I'm gonna go to Mrs. Radcliffe's room and knock on the door.
You knock. There is a delay. And then, bleary-eyed Mrs. Radcliffe opens the door. She is in a silken nightdress with a gown still tying it at her waist, her hair falling loose around her shoulders. More grey in it than there was when you were a girl. Alice, what is it?
Oh, ma'am, good, you're still here. I don't know what's happened. Everyone's gone.
What do you mean everyone's gone?
The girls, all the ones on the lower floor, they're all gone. The bedclothes are disturbed. It's like they all just got up and left.
What?
I'll show you. Come.
uh,
And she's gonna just like start leading her to the rooms.
She reaches, she takes a step back from the door and hurries back into the room and returns with a small revolver in her hand.
Respect.
Follows you out into the corridor.
I'll lead her to the rooms.
She hurries down, checking each of the doors in turn, and then comes back out into the corridor, grabs a ring pull, and starts pulling it repeatedly. In moments, staff starts to arrive in the corridor. And then, shortly thereafter, other attendees of this particular establishment. Not one under the age of 16. How is this possible? The doors are locked.
Out of character, can I still hear the music or has it stopped?
You'd stopped hearing it. But as you take a moment to be still and listen for it, you can still hear it just on the edge of hearing. So it's echoing from a great distance away.
Ma'am, I heard music. When I woke up, I could hear this strange music playing. I can still hear it. It's from far away, but I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Change into outdoor gear, everyone. Search the grounds and then get as far afield as you can. They can't have gone far.
Yes, ma'am.
And with that, Edmund, you were not woken by any strange music, but you are woken by Skip's barking. His paws are pressed over his ears as he whimpers and barks. As you awaken, you can hear nothing.
Okay. In that case, I think he would wake up bleary because of the time and be like, "Oh, what is it, Skip? Give it a rest." And then I think he would see Skip and immediately like, scoop him up and
He is
intuit.
shaking in your arms.
From that, he would intuit and recall back to what had happened previously when certain sounds had happened, and he would grab probably his blanket or something from his bed to kind of almost like wrap around Skip's head and tie it atop in like the worst bow ever, so that somehow it was muting some of the sound from his ears.
He does seem to settle a bit with that, but he's still shaking in your arms.
Okay.
It is very, very dark. You have a threadbare curtain pulled across the window.
Okay. In that case, what I would do is I would get dressed. He will get his things together, and he will head to the church. He knows that the church has kind of an undercroft that is kind of presumably somewhat quieter. He's been down there himself on a couple of occasions. So he's going to head to the church. He's going to attempt to probably wake up Father Sullivan and try and get in there just to kind of get Skip to a place whereby he can hopefully not hear quite so loud. That would be his first thing he would try. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You head to the church. It's not far from where you live, just a couple of streets. As you arrive, you realize usually the church is open when you come to do your work. You have access to your small groundskeeper's shed at the back, but the church itself requires one of the priest or the deacon to let you in. However, on 4 success levels on his perception notice roll, the deacon does hear you as you bang on the door. In your small apartment within the nave, or rather from what the name of the priest's actual Catholic church is called. It's not really,
It's vestry in C of E. I don't know if that's the kind of thing you're looking for.
it's similar. It's very similar. We'll
Okay.
call it that for now, but I think that's probably wrong. But you do hear the sounds of someone attempting to gain entrance to the church. Nathaniel.
Nathaniel would get up, wouldn't get dressed. This is the occasion, and just walk to the door and open it.
The door opens with Nathaniel on the other side.
Edmund.
Oh, sorry. It's Skip. He's acting really strange. He woke up barking and trying to like cover his ears. Look at him. He's never like this. Last time he was like this, it was when we were dealing with that weird tuning thing.
Right, of course. And do you want to do something about?
I wondered if I could maybe try and get into the undercroft and see if that was enough of a sound kind of barrier, give him a bit of peace.
Of course, come
I
in.
don't know what's causing this.
Yeah, of course.
A couple of seconds after you cross the boundary of the church, he stops shaking.
Well, isn't that weird? I'm still holding him. I'm going to take the blanket off his head.
Sort of sits, he cocks his head. It seems as though he's still hearing something, he's just not reacting the same way to it.
Okay. And it was literally as soon as you went into the church.
Seems to have been.
Edmund's going to pick him up and he's going to step back outside holding him without any kind of blanket on his head.
He immediately starts wriggling in your arms.
Okay, I'm immediately back in the church. Well, that's weird. He's all right in here. He just doesn't like it out there.
Well, if he
I mean,
is...
I can't hear anything.
Can I hear anything?
Could you make me a perception notice roll?
No, I couldn't.
He'd hate it.
Is Reno still in the church at this point?
I don't know. Are you? He's definitely okay. You're still doing it from the inside. That's fine.
From the inside, yeah.
Do they still need to make a perception notice roll because they made one before?
I'm aware.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's
Wasn't sure.
actively listening for something.
Okay.
13, 3 levels of success.
You have keen ears. There is something. It is tickling the edges of your perception, but you cannot quite pin it down.
I'll turn to Edmund again. If he's all right in here, please let him stay. If it's any relief, then you are welcome
Of
to.
course. Yeah, of course, Deacon. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I get another perception notice roll from both of you? Sight will be beneficial.
I rolled a 10. That's 1 level of success.
I rolled a 3 on a 13 for 3 levels of success.
The fog you had to walk through to get here is incredibly thick, Edmund. It is rolling and heavy. And it stops at the boundary of the door, still stood open. It is not spilling into the church. It is like there is a pane of glass that it is pressed against. And for a moment, just past the gates of the church, you think you see small figures moving through it.
Okay. I'm going to dismiss having seen that as just kind of a figment of my imagination for now. I will go to the doorway, and in the way that fog and mist can usually billow to an extent, I will churn through the door. I will churn at it and trying to kind of bring some of it into the church if I can, just to see what it does.
As you cup your hand and bring it towards you, it parts around it. It can cross the threshold, but immediately it seems to be pressed back out.
Deacon, forgive me. I'm not the brightest thing in the world, but am I losing my mind here? Is this doing what I think it's doing?
Looks to be that way. I can only
What?
imagine that we're dealing with something similar than we were last time.
What a curious odyssey.
Perhaps
I don't
this
know what to
place
do.
Me neither.
Well, it sounds like we've got safe haven here. I wonder if it might be worth seeing if people need refuge.
Did you notice any trouble on the way here?
No, I'm assuming the streets were quiet at that time of night.
You didn't notice anyone?
Yeah, quiet as a grave,
Hmm.
if you'll forgive the term.
I don't know if this is too metagamey, but I feel like Nathaniel would want to check if there's actually a problem. I mean, it could just be weird fog. So he would want to step outside and check on the neighbors.
As you step outside, again, I want another perception notice roll from you if you're stepping out into it.
As he does that, if Nathaniel is stepping outside, Edmund is instructing Skip to stay where he is and going with him.
Okay. You're able to make that perception notice roll as well.
Oh, okay.
Is this still with the danger bonus?
No.
No.
That's another 3 levels. No. Yeah, 13, 3 levels of success.
And another 10, 1 level of success.
You step in and go to check on the tenements nearby. The fog is so thick. As you step out into the street, there is that moment of disorientation as you realize you can't see any landmarks. You can't even see the cobbles at your feet or your outstretched hand in front of your face. Edmund, as you stand there and follow the deacon as he disappears into the fog, someone walks into you at waist height.
Okay. Piss and bones. And he's going to look down to see if he can see what it was.
As you look down, a young dark-haired girl, she can't be more than 8 or 9 years old, still wearing her nightdress, her feet still bare on the icy cobbles, continues walking past you.
His instinct is going to be to kind of Deacon, and to start after this young girl to make sure she's okay.
As you start after her to follow her, the fog pulls and billows, and she disappears.
As soon as she disappears, I'm going to stop dead. I know this area well enough to be able to get back to where I was.
You almost bump into each other, walking through the fog.
I swear I just saw a little girl wandering around, feet naked as the day she was born.
Girl?
Yeah,
This
little
late at
girl.
night?
Yeah.
Where?
She didn't even respond. She was there 1 minute, she walked straight into me. She
Where?
walked straight into me. Did you not hear me swear? Oh, I mean, did you not hear me cry out? And then she walked away. And then she was just gone. She was just gone. The fog swallowed her up, it did. I've no idea what's going on. But I tell you something, I don't think we should separate. If you'll forgive me, if you could forgive my cowardice.
No, of course. Which way was this? Like, if there's a girl wandering alone in this fog, we don't have much time.
Well, that was my thinking, but she was literally just swallowed by the fog.
We should go grab a lantern and see if we can maybe find her. But we stick together, no losing
Of
each other
course.
in this fog.
Yeah, that's my thinking, yeah. Yeah, forgive me for seeming like some young coquettish lady or something, but I may just take your arm. I'm a little unnerved by this.
That's fine, Edmund. It's best to stay safe.
I'd rather you didn't say to anyone if that's all right.
Mum's the word.
Thank you kindly. And like a young dilettante, he will hook his arm with Nathaniel's so as not to get separated or lost.
What's the height difference between Edmund and Nathaniel?
I think Nathaniel's about 6'5", and I think Edmund's about 5'3", so it's significant. That wasn't me overlooking it when I said that he could see her feet. Like, he's closer to the ground physically.
He's only 5'3". Oh my
Edmund needed
God.
an adult.
It looks less like a lady hanging off a gentleman caller's arm. It looks a lot more like a child following their father.
Well,
But
with
as
father.
with Nathaniel's hair, mother.
Mother.
you, yeah.
The mother father.
As you head back in to grab a lantern, again, you step into the church. It is very dim in here. I assume that at this stage you haven't lit anything. And as you step in immediately, the light coming in through the stained glass is muted by the fog. It's only moonlight. And as you step in, you trip momentarily over a small creature stood by the door, at which point you're as you just trip and over Skip.
Oh, Skip, I'm sorry, sunshine. I did say to stay over there, though. Come on, you're all right.
He was stood exactly by the door looking out into the fog.
It's not like him to not behave either. Something's not right here.
You go and fetch a lantern, lighting it, and step back out into the fog. You still intend to go checking on the neighbours?
Yeah, just check the streets, maybe find that girl, without wandering too far.
Exploring the streets of Whitechapel, they are eerily quiet. Even with the dangers of recent months, someone is on the street. There's always a patrol by the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, but you can't hear them. Just not seeing them makes sense in the fog. But it's like the fog is suppressing all sound. Occasionally, you think you see small figures drift through the fog and then disappear. It's as you draw level with a door you recognize in the street that your attention is drawn to it. Almost all of the shop fronts at this time are obviously closed and shut tight. As you pass O'Malley's butcher and see the door standing open, you pause. This, of course, being the butcher that is owned by Thomas O'Malley. Sorry, Thomas Cooper. Apologies. Thomas Cooper.
Nathaniel would walk up to the door and just sort of call in. Mr. Cooper? Thomas?
What? You just hear an answer from upstairs.
It's Deacon Wolf. Your door is wide open. Is everything all right?
You hear muffled conversation upstairs between a younger feminine voice and then an older man's voice, at which point Thomas comes heavily down the stairs. He's still dressed in a nightshirt and is pulling breeches up. Deacon, Have you seen the kids?
No, well, maybe we're out because we saw a young girl wandering in the fog.
Mary, his eldest daughter, comes down behind him. They're not anywhere else in the house, Father.
We'll keep looking. If you do go out, please stick together. You can't see anything in this fog.
Mary, fetch a lantern. She steps back into the shop.
Nathaniel will turn to Edmund. Edmund, did the child you see look like little Cooper girl?
I'm gonna assume that it did not.
A darker hair than the Coopers. The youngest Cooper girl. She has brown hair, but not that dark.
Yeah. No. She. I mean, in passing, maybe, but she walked right into me. I didn't recognize her.
Strange.
So, the little ones are up and about. Nobody noticed.
Apparently.
Within the place where Edmund lives, he will know of other properties that have young children in them. He will probably want to go and check those to see if something else is going on, or something like he would want to go and find out where other children are with the intention of verifying if this is all children, because this is very strange and we've seen similar behavior previously with a previous scenario.
In the interests of time, you go and check the houses, buildings, shop fronts that you know house young families. And at each of them, it's the same. The door standing open. Rouse the parents, the older siblings. Not one of them under the age of 16, to find beds empty and every child missing. I'm going to leave you both there as you coordinate the search of Whitechapel. Another part of the London... Oh, please go on.
I don't... This is something that my character, I think, would do, but I don't know if it's going to work for the game context. So I'm just going to say what kind of I think Edmund would probably do, and you can give me a steer as a GM on that. I think at this point, he would want to rouse everybody. So he'd probably just start shouting fire in the street to just get everybody awake, everybody up and about. Like, the whole population should be, like, checking houses at this point.
Understood. I will leave that scene with you coordinating that, but immediately you start to get people pouring out onto the streets. You find the faces of those in the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee who you are familiar with to coordinate the search. But door to door, house to house, the story is the same. Children vanished without trace. Sightings disappearing into fog. Another area of London, Alice and Lucy run down the street, thinking they see vanishing images of missing girls just on the edge of vision, but when they turn, they are gone. By the morning, as the sun begins to rise and burn off the fog, all of London's children are missing.
Jesus.
Elliot. Tristan awakes to a bell being rung.
What time is it?
It is about 6:30 in the AM.
Tristan's already been awake.
Oh, okay.
Tristan's been doing the most silent and respectful calisthenics for at least like 45 minutes.
Is he wearing a romper?
No. Listen, just because you're a drunk doesn't mean you can't be a morning person. It just means you have to be a masochist.
Or a morning drunk.
Please do not come to this series for life advice. We do not.
Also, do not come to any of us for life advice.
Speak for yourself.
Tristan, while doing his routine, hears the sound of the bell being rung elsewhere on this. It's a different floor. It's a floor up. You are currently on the servants' floor. Granted, staying in the nicest room in the estate, but nonetheless. Of the Yates estate. The way it's being rung, it's not the simple trying to capture attention. It's being rung repeatedly.
Tristan throws on his robe and heads out.
You step out to see confused staff beginning to mill about. Head up the stairs. As you can see that the bell ringing is the one associated with Cecily's room, your student's room.
The instant he sees that it's Cecily's room, he starts, he's not going to drop an elbow on anyone who's heading in that same direction, but he is clearly, parting them as what I can only assume the fastest sprinter among the staff.
You bound up. You discover, clutching at her uniform and already tears beginning to well in her eyes, the nanny. Cecily's bed is empty.
Nanny, what's the matter? Where's Cecily?
I don't know. I don't know, sir.
Have the grounds been searched?
I've just found her bed empty. Yes. I'll ask the maids. And people start arriving. We need to search the grounds. Her ladyship's missing. Please, the young lady is missing.
I think at this point, Tristan takes control and starts ordering, completely probably without the authority to do so. He's instructing people on how to break up into pairs and where they should be searching and when they should be reporting back and to whom.
Can I please get a willpower influence roll from you?
Uh, 13 for 3 levels of success.
On 3 levels of success, the staff immediately snap to attention and start following your orders. And the search immediately starts spreading out into the grounds of the estate. In the south of London, outside of London really, just where the city begins to meet countryside, the estate is large. I would like you to please make me a perception notice roll to see if you can find any trace of Cecily.
I think I'm going to drama point this one. So that is a 21 for 6 success levels.
Ooh. You strike an odd figure striding out into the garden, still wearing your robe, a cane clasped in your hand, clearly as a weapon rather than an aid. And as you reach the edge of the flagstone porch, the back of the house, your eyes are drawn downwards to small, bare footprints, still visible in the soil of the bed, heading out towards the tree line at the base of the large, well-kept gardens.
I follow.
As you rush out to the still morning air, it's still dark. Mist still pools around the base of the trees, till already the house is lost behind you, and you are moving through still, sentinel-like trees, shrouded in fog, lit only by the barest touches of dawn on the horizon. And as you stand in the silence of the wood, something reaches you. Strange, echoing music. And something inside you trembles in answer, in fury.
Cecily?
The voice is loud in your own ears, but there is no answer.
Have I come to the end of the trail, or is it
There
lost
is
in
no.
the...
It is lost in the woods and in the fog. You can find evidence of her footprints, and they simply end in the soil.
Where is the track leading to? Like, do I have any sense of like what sort of places might it be heading?
You think from where you are, it could be leading. So you're out towards the southeast of London. You think it could be leading to the west, maybe slightly to the north?
I think Tristan grudgingly is going to rush back so that he can reorganize the search parties in a way that is going to be more effective based on his new awareness, cursing all the while.
At this point, the day begins to move on. The news is only reporting one thing. Every paper quickly withdrawn, reprinted. Parents, relatives, concerned strangers mill in the streets, trying to find any sign of where all of London's children have gone. Dr. Rice is undoubtedly among those taking to the streets, looking for evidence, looking for any sign, any explanation for how this could be happening. Would she head to Whitechapel? Or would she stay in her current place of residence?
Is there anything drawing her towards Whitechapel? Does she have any reason to believe it might be the place to head to?
From what you are being able to glean from just people you're passing in the street, this is everywhere in London. The reason I thought that she might be drawn to Whitechapel is because that's where her patients are.
I think in that case, she would go and check in on the families of any patients she has who are under the age of 16. See what information she can gather, comfort them where she can, see if there's any evidence as to why these children, who she specifically knows through her practice, may have vanished.
You treat the Cooper's children, particularly you've checked in on them quite frequently ever since they came down with the Red Death, checking to make sure there's no other symptoms and that the disease never remanifests itself. As you go to check on them, you find the butcher closed for the day. But coming up the street towards you, the last remnants of the fog sinking into the ground at their feet as the wan early sunlight scatters it away. You see two companions of yours, Deacon Nathaniel and Edmund. Skip is trotting along at your side. After the sun rose, he stopped responding the same way when you tried to bring him out of the church.
Just to clarify, the fog
Mhm.
burned off as well, is that correct?
Yes, with the dawn.
Fancy seeing you two here.
Yes, Dr. Rice,
Well,
this
three.
is a surprise.
Hello, Skip.
Hello, Dr. Ross. Good morning. Good morning to you. Well, morning, I suppose. Not really good.
What have you heard?
It's not so
Or
much what we've heard, it's what we've seen.
seen?
What a curious
not
night we have
seen.
had.
Hmm.
Well, it started off with Skip. He woke up through the night howling his face off. He was very
Oh.
distraught. And then of course I went to find the deacon, thinking we could go into the church where maybe his soundproofing was better. Indeed it was. It seemed to sort his problem sort him right out. Then we went wandering, tried to see if anyone else was around, and there was a small child in the well, anyway, that was when we discovered that all the children were missing.
Yes, I'd just come to speak to a family I treat, who you also know well from our past escapades.
Oh, which family is that?
Sorry, I assumed we were standing by the butchers at this point, so she kind of just nods towards the butchers.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, they are missing. The two youngest are missing.
You've already spoken with them?
Well, it was we went to theirs last night. One of the first places we went.
The door was wide open in the middle of the night,
Strange.
like they wandered out on their own.
So you say there was this fog
Mm.
and
There was this
soundproofing,
fog.
so soundproof? A noise? A particular noise?
Maybe.
I've no idea. All I know is that Skip was not happy at all. He was covering his ears, and when I wrapped his ears up in a little blanket, in some kind of sturdy fabric, it was fine. He didn't seem so bothered. Then we went into the church, and he was all right. I could even take it off. I lifted him up. I did my own little experiment. I walked outside with him, and he was not happy at all. I went back into the church, and he was happy as you like. Very, very curious.
Did you gather specifically what it was that was causing Skip distress, the change in his character, or?
Edmund, you said it was covering his ears, right?
So a sound that he could hear, but you could not.
Do you remember when we were on the in the lane, and we heard the details of the it was the evening when we first all met, or the day we first all met, and it was a tuning forks thing. Do you remember his reaction?
Yes,
it was like that.
I do.
It was just like that. Well, it was very similar to that.
Okay. So you think maybe going into the church allowed the sound to be cut off, and he was previously hearing it outside in the street?
I don't know enough about this sort of thing, to be honest with you.
It's strange, I heard nothing, but...
I do remember right after Edmund and Skip came in, just something barely registering. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Strange. Anything else unusual?
Well, ranges of children wandering in the night.
Oh, you saw them as they were leaving. They didn't just.
Occasionally.
All I've heard is that they've disappeared. Not. That...
Well,
We s-
one walked straight into me and then continued walking and then was just lost in the fog. Very, very strange and not a little unsettling, I don't mind admitting.
Did they seem to register you were there, or was it completely?
Not at all. Not at all. It was like a moth bouncing off a lamp, and then off it went into the night.
Or a moth being guided to a lamp, maybe.
When we were wandering around, did we see multiple instances of children? Because you did describe that.
Yeah.
Always on the edge of sight.
Yeah. And when we saw them, were they all vaguely headed in a similar direction?
Now that you're thinking on it, yes.
Which cardinal direction?
South.
South?
Were you
Or
able to track this child at all? Follow
No.
her?
No.
No, as I say, it was lost in the fog. I didn't even know which way I was going. I saw a small child. She bounced off me, and off she toddled into the night.
South. That's all we know.
South.
Hmm.
GM question, is there anything specifically significant south from here?
I mean, you are north of the river,
That's what I was thinking. Okay, cool.
but lots of the entirety of South London.
Yeah,
is
no,
south
fair.
of you. So,
That's very fair. We are north.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we had anything like this, we ended up at the river as well, didn't we?
Docks, yes. I'm wondering.
It might be worth going back and checking previous places.
I agree.
Should we try and get the rest of our little group together?
I think that would be a good idea. I have a final question for you, Edmund.
As you like.
Child. She was tangible, wasn't she?
Forgive me, Doctor. I know
Solid.
a child when I see one, and I know a child when they bounce off me in the middle of the night.
I meant no offense.
I'm not imagining anything.
I meant no offense.
Can we move along, please?
Of course.
Thank you. I do not like my character being called into question. I did not imagine it. It was real.
I'm not calling your character into question. I was not doubting
Well,
your
you
senses.
were both asking it for a question. Let's move on, shall we?
Come now. All of London's children are missing. We have better things to do.
we do.
I would like to pull the deacon to one side, please.
You may.
I meant no offense. I was merely saying a child vanishing into nothingness, into fog, being unable to be followed or seen thereafter. I worry for them. That is all. I do not doubt at the moment of contact that it was real and solid. I question after that moment. That is all.
I don't doubt your character or your intentions. Edmund will see the same way in time.
Thank you. I think we should gather our fellows.
We should. But while I have you here, I left something in your care last time. This might not be the time, but I trust you acted with the respect I think you have in you.
I think that should go without saying or question.
Good. We'll discuss this another time. We have work to do.
We do.
Okay. Who's closest? Would that be
yeah, who's
Tristan
easiest
or
to-
Alice?
So this is the thing. You know where Alice lives. Tristan is a little bit more of a question mark at this stage, I believe, because
Fair.
one of you has been to where Alice lives. So it would feel like that would be the logical one to try and get to first.
Yeah.
If you are heading over there, Alice, at this point, I'll say you've been on sorties throughout the day, and obviously at some point have changed into more fitting clothing for a lady of your station. I will say that you just happen to be about to set out again, this time by yourself, having been very firmly instructed to continue your investigations and find out what has happened. As you emerge, you see coming up the street towards you. You would all struggle to get a carriage at this point of the day in the current circumstances. It appears Dr. Rice, Deacon Nathaniel, and Edmund are all walking towards you.
Okay, she is going to try and pretend that she didn't notice them and just sort of like try walking away.
Did we see Alice as well?
I'm going to say you spotted out. You were coming here for her, so if she walked out, and also she's quite noticeable. She's very brightly coloured.
Then, considering I can skip the notice to see Alice, can I do another roll to see if I can pick out that reaction specifically?
Yeah, and you may add a +3 for empathy as well.
Ah, beautiful.
I'd like to see if I notice that as well.
Yeah, you don't get the empathy trait, so you can just do a perception notice.
Shall I also?
Yes, you all may. There's nothing saying anyone if you can't.
Oh, my poor heart.
Ish. Just about.
Edmund is
3 levels of success.
Edmund's
got
rolling
one
really
level.
well on the successes. I'm going to say Edmund and Nathaniel both notice this sort of spotting you and sort of trying to sort of sidle off in a different direction.
My immediate thing would be for it to go, Deacon, did she just looking for like the little like side nod before we fall after her?
I will give that nod, and I'll just use my very long legs to immediately go after her.
Anisha?
As someone who does not notice any of this, would it greatly upset the plans of the rest of the party if I were to just shout her name after her?
Alice, over here! I think that's actually kind of funny.
That's perfect.
Cool.
Please do.
How would I address her actually in this specific?
I think Alice would be fine.
Is Alice
you're on a
just
first
fine?
name basis. I think you're on a first name basis at this stage, yeah.
Alice, over here.
Okay, how far away is she from them?
I mean, from Oliviera, about 100 paces. From Nathaniel, about 5 of his, and he's already taken 3 of them.
Lots of little steps.
Okay, so
it's like trying to run away from a scout walker in Star Wars. You're just not getting very far.
All right, well, I guess Nathaniel would notice. She actually stops, and you see her kind of flinch a little bit, and then she just... Oh, Dr. Rice. Hello. Oh, and Deacon Wolf, and Edmund as well. Lovely to see you all.
Don't worry, we don't need to pretend it's a coincidence. It is not.
You came here deliberately. I see.
Is that an issue?
Well, it's just and she kind of looks up at the building and it's just like, well, things are a bit harried right now. It's
Oh, don't worry, we didn't see you leave. We don't know where you came from.
Very well.
I'm not.
Edmund's going to fully clock that. Edmund's going to fully clock that phrase.
Yeah, Nathaniel is already incredibly suspicious of Alice at this point because of what happened last time. Nothing is getting past him at this point.
Fair enough. Well then, did you need something from me?
I think
Well, to be honest, given the fact that children are missing across the entire city, we thought that it might be a good idea for us to regroup and see if we can put our noggins together and get some answers.
Oh, oh dear. Well, I'm under, well, not command exactly, but Mrs. Radcliffe has me combing the streets. I don't know if she'd.
Is there an
It might
issue
be-
in your joining our party?
Well,
Our thinking, just to put it out there, our thinking, Miss Alice, is that we think this might be related to how we all started out together. Do you remember that? And there was that weird tuning fork thing down by the river, and the way it affected folks. We think it might be something related to that. We could all be wrong, and if it is, I'll beg your pardon and forgive my intrusion. But given our formative success, it seems we should just work together. Come on.
to be honest, I think you might be onto something. Last night, just before I discovered that, well, several of our young ladies were among those who disappeared, last night I was awoken by the sound of music. It was this strange, eerie flute sound. And then I got up and checked on the other ladies, and they were gone. So, if it might bear some sort of connection, that's not impossible.
Could that have been what? No.
Around midnight, I believe. It was strange. It didn't sound like it was coming from an instrument. When I heard it, it was everywhere. Then it started to fade, and I checked on the girls, and they were all gone. So, it's true. It might bear some. It might. She's just kind of looking up at the building and down again, and
Shall we continue this conversation elsewhere? Would you be more comfortable if we did?
yes, I think that would. Yes, please.
Kind of start walking and encourage us to shift to somewhere else.
At that moment, I would like to check in with Tristan. Hours have passed since the alarm was first raised, and all searches of the grounds have come up empty. And by this point, news has reached the house that this is a London-wide problem. Caroline and William Yates, the owners of the estate, are beside themselves with worry and are trying to coordinate with the other well-to-do families in the area to see if there's anything that can be done. Staff are stretched thin, exploring every nook and cranny of the surrounding countryside. But you know that this goes beyond that. What would Tristan do in this situation? Would he seek out the others?
I think he would seek out the others. I think as soon as he felt that strangeness in the woods, he kind of knew where this was all leading.
It would still
So-
take you a while to get to Northland, particularly at the moment as the roads are crammed with people searching. But you'd be able to start traveling in that direction. Where would you go to meet them?
Quick question. How far are we talking about? Are we talking about like
You're
10
out
miles,
sort of,
20 miles?
I think you'd be out sort of Chislehurst way, which is a fair way south of London. It's still within London now, but it's kind of it's one of those places that's sort of been swallowed up over the last 100 years. I'd say looking at about 10 to 15 miles.
Okay, so quite a schlep.
You have
trying
had
to think.
several hours to go that far, though.
True. But that, okay, yeah. So I guess he's going on foot. This is an extension of his morning calisthenics. The frock coat is over his arms. The shirt is rolled up as far as it can go, and possibly a little bit farther. Like, yeah.
I have checked from roughly where you are on foot. It's about a 4-hour journey. It's not impossible that you could get there, but those are slow walking speeds. You're probably going faster than that.
Do they have a horse?
They do have horses.
Is there any reasonable expectation I would have about, like, is stabling a thing that I could find in London, or am I just going to be stuck with a horse if
Stabling is absolutely a thing in London. Like, this is a huge industry still. That is horse is the main form of transport other than just walking. And therefore pretty much, unless you were taking the train, that is the only other option. So it would absolutely be an option.
Then yes, he is going to briefly tell the Yates that he's taking the horse into London, one of the horses into London.
Okay.
This is not really a question, but it is framed as delicately as he can.
Yeah.
Make it sound like a day trip for the horse. Taking the horse into London for the day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you express that this is part of you looking for Cecily,
Yes.
they will happily give you access to a horse. It's easy to saddle and get ready.
Okay, he is not much of a horseman, so he's going to go as briskly as he can without risking too much trouble.
No problem. Can I please get a dexterity drive roll from you?
Why must you do these things to me, Xander?
It's fine.
Because you need to drive the horse.
The horse knows how to drive itself. It's a horse.
You have a
That's what
horse
it does.
license.
You've never ridden one, have you?
Oh.
Oh!
15 for
What
4
happens?
levels of success.
4 levels of success.
I want everyone to just picture this moment as Tristan, face set in a mask of determination, strides into the stable, and then moments later these large doors swing open and you just see this horse galloping out onto the road and out towards London in the distance, his coat billowing behind him, his
very
cane strapped to his
Darcy-esque.
side. It's very Darcy-esque. Hair moving delicately in the breeze. And-
Oh no, he hasn't even put it up in a ponytail today. It's all
Oh, we are going full fog.
Oh,
now.
it's properly billowing. Understood.
Mhm.
Very cavalier.
So, Tristan is galloping towards London. Now, there are a fair few places that his compatriots live. Is there a particular place he is heading to?
I think the first place he would go would be the church, because it's the place that he knows best and thinks he'd have a chance at 2 out of the 4.
Fair. Given the stepping away from where you were, is there any place that the others would aim to congregate? That is not intended to be a leading choice of words. Just, would you head back to the church? Would you head somewhere else?
Would it be the church because that's where we know safety was? Or, like, at the very least, reprieve last
I think that
night?
makes a degree of sense.
Again, I don't want to, like...
We did
Eh,
just
but-
establish that they were headed south and that the docks are south. So maybe
Maybe
we
the
would
docks.
head towards the docks. I think that would be Nathaniel's next move.
Oh, I have a metagamey question that I shouldn't ask. Go on, Elliot.
I have a question for Sean/Edmund, and that is, did you leave Skip at the church? No, okay.
No, Skip's
No,
with us.
didn't
Okay.
leave Skip at the church because the fog lifted as the night wore up, so Skip was able to join us on our shenanigans.
I have
sure?
a question for Reno / our lovely deacon. Did you leave anything at the church / bring anything from it? And if not, would we stop there as a collection?
I have
What?
returned that specific item to Father Sullivan in his
Okay.
safekeeping. And I don't think we're quite at the level of picking that up yet.
That's fair.
What I would have also have left with the father is the information of what I am doing right now.
Okay, this is fair.
Mm.
Tristan,
You
you arrive at the parish of St. Hubert, and as you ride along the cobbled streets of Whitechapel, you're able to reach the church. It appears to be being a place that the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee are using to coordinate the searches, though increasingly, as everything possible has been searched, it is more a place for people to mill and comfort each other in their worry and grief. As such, you can see the priest, one Father Sullivan, appears to be comforting a woman you recognize. Appears to be that he's in conversation with Charlotte Markham,
Which one was Charlotte Markham?
the mother of Cassie, the little girl who
Yes. Gotcha.
you met last time.
How rude is it to ride a horse onto Catholic grounds?
I don't know, but I feel like riding a horse. I'm going to say that he's like on the steps of the church, so you're probably not going to have to go on to the actual grounds themselves in order to get there.
Okay. So he's going to slide off and approach. If he sees anyone he recognizes, he's going to hand them the reins very briskly and tell them to hold on to it, with just the air of someone who is in charge-ish. Excuse me, Father. Oh, I'm so sorry. If I may interrupt very briefly.
Tristan, wasn't it? No, not at all.
I'm looking for the deacon or Edmund or.
They've headed south. They were going to go and meet one of your compatriots, Alice, at her place of lodging, and then head south to the docks.
Docks, of course. Thank you. My apologies again. And he takes the woman's hands and just kind of gives them a quick squeeze, and then turns, gives a penny to whoever he handed the horse to, and gets back on it.
It was literally just a passing,
Yeah.
woman. You shoved the reins into her hand, and she looks bemused and honestly kind of shell-shocked anyway. As you pull the horse around and start heading back down towards the south. For ease, I will say you are probably going to come close to the warehouse that you previously investigated as part of our first case. So as you sort of arrive there on horseback, you are eminently visible as the others are coming up the street. And you're able to join each other.
That's one way to make an entrance. You
I'm
heard?
I'm sorry. I didn't feel like running 15 miles into South London this morning. Give me just a moment to stable this, and I can only assume that you have had similarly.
Sorry.
Yes?
Did you say you've travelled in 15 miles?
Yes.
I'm assuming you've come into the city for the same reason that we're all here.
Yes. I've seen it in the papers. We've had it. The girl at the estate where I'm currently I'm working as her tutor. She disappeared in the night, just like presumably all the other children.
That is a massive area. Crikey.
So, yes, the scope does rather boggle the mind. Can you fill me in? As I need to find a place to put this. It's not mine. Also, I'm not very good at these. I would like to get off it quite a lot. Do any of the rest of you know horses?
I would posit that Edmund would have a familiarity with horses to an extent and would probably know because they would use horses to bring potentially bring bodies to the churchyard or something along those lines. There'll be something nearby that I'll be able to do something and know someone.
You'd probably use like mules or donkeys, but yeah, you can know people nearby who you're familiar with the area. You certainly know places where you could stable the horse.
Yeah.
And yes, you're able to do that. Most of the stables seem to be doing incredible business as people are traveling around the city, checking in on loved ones and the like.
I'm just picturing you sitting on this horse being like, does anyone know how to this?
Horse.
How do you turn this thing off?
Cool.
Well
Yes,
done.
you're able to stable the horse.
We've dealt with horse. Horse is stable.
Condition
But it's
stable.
Tristan.
Horse is stable. Tristan, less so.
Oh, that was beautiful. Right. Now that we're all on solid ground and all together in one group, I think we were suggesting heading towards the docks, no?
Yes, I'm going to assume that we've kind of caught Tristan up at this point with all of our various points of
Yeah.
multi-view. Perfect.
Apologies, I also assumed that he had reached us, seeing as he was travelling on horseback before we reached the docks, so...
I think as we're coming from different directions, you've kind of arrived there at a similar time.
Okay, cool.
Yes, you're able to catch each other all up with your various different bits of information, assuming that you are sharing everything you have learned.
Is Alice
Yeah.
sharing the music that she heard?
Yeah, she does. As she sort of like steps up to mention that, there's a small thing. I don't know if it would merit a perception notice roll that she's doing.
I don't know what it is next, so
True enough. When she is filling Tristan in on this, she is not looking him in the eye. She is maintaining like a facsimile of eye contact by staring at his nose.
I'll say that you can notice that.
No.
Not at the
Tristan
moment.
Tristan
Too
is
focused on other
avowedly
things.
no. Tristan is not looking directly at her in a very similar way. And he heard a little bit of the music too, right? In the forest?
He did.
I heard something similar. Not immediately, but as I was following Cecily's trail into the forest, I heard it. It was rather eerie and otherworldly, perhaps some sort of flute or oboe,
Yes.
some woodwind, but
That's precisely what I had.
it stirred something in me.
Normally, I wouldn't even entertain this thought, but flute music and a number of children disappearing, it makes me think of the Pied Piper.
I was thinking a similar thing. Strange.
If the papers didn't think to call it that, then that's more their own malpractice.
Or maybe they just don't want people to make assumptions or panic. I mean, I know it is typically the role of the papers to stir up sensationalism, but when children are involved, perhaps a little more discretion is key.
Fair enough. So what are we looking for here?
I suppose any
Signs of-
sign that the children came here, or something similar to what we saw last time.
As I'm assuming we're in the docks at this point in time.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to do some kind of perception notice roll to look for the similar sorts of things that we saw the last time. So that was the cable going up to a particularly high point in a building. So I'm going to want to have a look at every high building I can see. I'm going to want to be looking for cabling of any kind that's going up to it. I'm going to want to be like that sort of thing is what I'm wanting to look for.
Okay, so you're looking basically for a good vantage point, then how you can access it.
Yes.
Perception notice, please.
That would be one level of success on a 9.
I mean, your eyes are drawn to the same the same warehouse that you used previously, you got at the top of previously. You know there is a way of accessing that internally, and you also remember that there were oftentimes sort of side doors and an elevator position that you were able to access. So that's the one you know that you can get to, and you spot it, and it's as high as any other building around here.
Okay. Recollecting that, I'm actually going to sidle up carefully to Miss Alice. Miss Alice, if you'll forgive the intrusion, if I recall correctly, last time we were endeavouring under such conditions and circumstances, we found our group of colleagues in. You were particularly effervescent in your ascension of
Edmund, please, just speak plainly. Speak as you normally would.
You scampered up that building like nothing I've ever seen before. You're probably best to do it.
I suppose if we want to look around, just don't make a big deal out of it, please.
Of course not.
So she is going to, not very flashily, but she is going to try to get back up there.
This time you go around and you can see it's actually the same loading dock door that's sort of elevated with a crane, not crane, but like a crane arm with a hook and a pulley system that's still sort of standing open that you could get to. It's going to be, again, you're going to need 3 levels of success on an dexterity acrobatics roll to get up there.
Given that I'm with Alice, can I kind of do the whole like ducking down, providing a boost up to offer a help action that'll give advantage?
Also, you can give her a +2 by being a, albeit somewhat diminutive boost.
It tickles me. She's like 4 inches taller than he is. It's amazing. Right, let me just there we go.
Yeah,
3
that's
levels of success
fair.
Exactly.
Not bad at all. You're able to be the boost, and as you sort of crouch down, Edmund, and place your hands between your knees, and at which point you see Alice just sort of hook her parasol underneath her arm and then start running at you full pelt. And as your eyes widen with fear, she just lightly hops up onto your hands and then springboards up and catches onto the edge and is able to mantle up quickly in all one move.
In the act of her pressing down to gain the elevation she needs to do that, Edmund finds himself toppling over onto his rear, as was the first time we met him as well.
Yeah. Skip trots over to you and licks your face now that you're at ground level. Alice, you are once again inside the warehouse. It is seemingly quiet today. You just think perhaps not as many people are in work in London today as they usually would be with the current concerns. As such, you're able to go down to the ground level and let people in if you so wish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
One of the doors at ground level, you hear the bolt being retracted and it parts open to reveal Alice on the inside. Nusha.
And I have been doing something in the meantime, please.
Certainly. What would you like to have done?
Are we at the same spot where we were with when the first shenaniganery was occurring? We went off in our boat and...
Yes, you're at the same warehouse that that was beneath.
I just want to see if there's anything around the edge of the dock, around the water, around any of the boats that I can sense. And anything I can pick up on. I'd like to use the sight as well.
Okay then. Please knock off the requisite hit points, and then please make me a perception notice roll.
Yeah, I just want to see if there have been large numbers of people here, and anything I can notice about any kind of change in the surroundings. So life points going 1, 2, 3, and then perception notice. And forgive me, do I add to that? I have...
No, it's just perception notice, but you're seeing things that you otherwise would not see because you are using the sight.
That is nothing. That is an 8 and it is nothing.
Unfortunately, you are not able to spot anything out of the ordinary. You just see the river
Okay.
as it would usually be.
I just get a headache for my troubles.
You just
Fair
get a
enough.
headache for your troubles.
Fair enough.
Oliviera disappears around the corner to observe the river and then comes back a moment later, presumably slipping a pill bottle back into her coat pocket.
Pill bottle and the glasses are now on.
Yeah.
Fully, not even down on the nose, just fully kind of framing her eyes. Head
Understood.
bowed.
As you head into the warehouse, I assume everyone is joining Alice in there. You are able to once again make your way up. I will remind you, the roof was not very, very structurally sound by the looks of it. It's got glass panels on it. It is a leaded roof over a series of ribs underneath that are holding it up in place. It will hold some of your weight. If all of you are up there and clattering around, it may not hold up very well.
I think I would elect to stay at the bottom anyway and keep watch at this point.
Understood. You're keeping watch. Who is heading up onto the roof?
I would make the point from when, because last time it was myself and Alice who were at the roof, on the roof previously. I think as part of this entire endeavor, I would have made that point to the entire group.
Well, I suppose there's no harm in doing it a second time.
It's fine by me.
I'm more than happy to give it a go myself, but again, I think any more than two would be unwise.
Yeah, a bit dangerous, yes.
Okay. You two are able to head up. It is a cold day, and this close to the river, the wind plucks at your clothing, making you feel particularly unsafe, so high up from the ground. What is it you're looking for specifically, Edmund?
So, from the previous time, there was something leading up to some kind of device, and there was a cable, and that is the sort of thing that I want to have a look out for. What Edmund's thinking is that we're seeing very similar behavior to what we saw with the tuning fork. This feels like tuning fork 2.0, for want of a better phrase. So he's going to look out for anything that could be along those sorts of lines. As part of what he's looking for, he's also going to look for anything that just doesn't fit. Like a cable going up a warehouse that is brand new cable going up a warehouse is something that you wouldn't expect to see in the docks, for example. That sort of thing. Like, I'm looking for if there's, I don't know, a bright yellow crate in among a sea of brown crates, for example. That, those sorts of things that really jump out and stick out. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to Alice that that's what I'm looking for as well while we're up there.
Could both of you please make me a perception notice roll?
Yep. That is, I rolled a 10 with 1 success level.
I rolled a 13 with 3 success levels.
Who's rolling 13s?
Edmund, you examine around sort of the belfry where the bell is held for the dock, this particular dockyard building. You see the same damage has been that you've done before. There's this still sort of like dangling cable where you've pulled the device clean, and it's still dangling where you left it. Some of the contacts have started to corrode, where clearly it's close enough now that you can see where rain started to get into it. Alice, you turn around and look in 360 degrees. And it's as you're looking back towards Whitechapel that you spot, it's a few streets away. You're only able to see it because you're so high up. There appears to have been a small crowd gathering on what looks like a confrontation of some kind. you can see there looks to be a short figure who is sort of cowering up against the wall of what looks to be Sato's apothecary. And a series of people outside, so trying basically to hold the crowd back, a small crowd that's gathering.
That's oh dear. Edmund, do you see that?
Once it's pointed out to you, you can see that, yeah.
Am I right in thinking
That's-
that looks like Sato's?
I believe you are correct. I'm not
Crikey.
sure what's going on, but I think we should take a look at it.
I agree.
Right. Let's go.
Okay.
You get
So
back
we'll-
down to ground level.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let the
And
others know what we saw, and just be like,
Mhm.
I think we should go and investigate.
Yeah. All of the above.
As you round the corner onto the street where Sato's apothecary is, you can hear, well, how come she was spared when ours were taken? It's like, you let us in, you let us speak to her. And you just hear Katrin's voice answering. It's like, you can't speak to her. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And as you sort of approach, you can see it looks like a couple of, it looks like you can see Thomas Cooper and Mary are both stood by Katrin, but there is an increasingly angry looking, it's not quite a mob, but you get the sense from the timbre of the conversation that it is going in that direction quite quickly.
Is there anyone in the mob who seems to be like a loud voice, like a locus?
There is a tall, very puce man, sort of thinning grey hair on top, very broad shoulders, who is, credit to Katrin, he is looming over her, and when he's shouting, you can see the spittle coming from his lips, even at a distance, and she's not flinching. She is standing her ground and looking straight up in his eye, going, you will not approach her when you are like this. Leave the poor girl alone.
I think Tristan comes up, and if he can, he'll interpose himself. If he can't, then he will like reach up for the man's shoulder and push very gently down as if to turn him.
He will turn to look at you, and you can see his veins bulging in his neck as he's about to direct his anger towards you.
He sees the coldest blue eyes he has ever seen as Tristan leans nearer to him. Go home and pray that something is going to save you from whatever this is.
The man falls to the ground and scrambles backwards, already weeping like a child, turns and just scrambles to his feet and sprints down the street. At which point you see Katrin subtly try and, in fact, make a perception notice roll for me.
Can I also do that while this is happening, please?
Yes,
I
you
would
may
love
make
to.
a perce-
I would love to
Anyone
myself.
else can make a perception notice roll.
I still
of
have
what's
the
happening.
sight.
No
I'm not
levels
gonna-
of success.
I'm
Come
not
on.
going to do a perception notice roll at this stage, but I do want to clock the reaction to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can
Come
see the
on.
reaction
Yeah.
for certain, yeah.
Yeah, I want to clock that.
2 levels of success.
Just
On
the
2
one.
levels of success, you
With the sight.
see that same shifting face underneath Tristan's for a moment. But also say you see a vaguely reddish aura, not a bright one, a very, very faint one, in Katrin's hand that she appears to be slipping back into a pocket, and then she withdraws her
Okay.
hand.
Cool.
Would you also still see
If you're still
Tristan's
wearing
aura?
it, if you're
Yeah.
still wearing it, there is a small cloth pouch around Tristan's neck that is glowing with a vaguely sort of blue-green light.
Okay. Thank you very much.
which point Thomas will step up and just go, "Thank you. All of you go home. We are looking into it, and all of the authorities have been made aware. If anything comes of this, we will let you know. 3 of mine are missing. Do you think I would be protecting them if I didn't think it was for a good cause?" You can see the crowd starts to scatter, and Katrin catches her breath.
I'm all right,
Thank
Miss
you.
Sato.
I'm fine, thank you.
What were...
Mary got her into the shop. You should come in.
Before we go,
Is that to all of us, or? Sorry.
Yes, it's being directed to all of you. Yeah.
Okay.
Before we go, do I recognize that man who was the very angry voice in the crowd?
You recognize him by sight. He's definitely a parishioner, but you don't know him by name.
Okay. Then I'll head inside as well.
As you step inside, Mary Cooper is tending to the first you've seen today, a child. She looks to be about 8 years old, and she's wearing the threadbare clothing that you would associate with the poorhouse. And she's sort of indicating something to Mary with her hands and looking up at her. And Mary signals, I'll see if I can find something to eat. She sort of just strokes her hair for a moment and then heads behind the counter. This young lady is Edith. She's the only child anyone's been able to find all morning, and those lot were about to rip her to shreds, blaming her for not being missing.
Where was she found?
I found her about a few streets from here. I think she's run from the poorhouse when they've turned on her there.
Turned on her?
People are scared, people are worried, people looking for someone to blame.
Disappointing, but not surprising.
So she didn't go at all?
No.
Testing a supposition, Tristan snaps his fingers.
Everyone else turns to look at you apart from...
Edmund just
Being
clocked it
bad.
as well with the motion. The motion that she had done to indicate she was hungry. Edmund's just clocked it as well.
Yeah.
My God.
Is the young miss
Deaf.
deaf?
I treated her for meningitis when she was a little girl. She never recovered her hearing.
Wow. I'll be.
Lucia?
Do you think the doctor would... Okay, this is probably going to have to go as a marking time-wise. At what point did any form of sign language become prevalent, something that the doctor might have known, that kind of thing? I was trying to figure out whether she'd know American or British. She studied abroad.
So, British Sign Language was formalized in the mid-20th century.
Yeah.
But in practice, sign language has been a thing that people have developed organically again and again and again and again. So there have been smaller versions of sign language that have existed for a very long time. That said, in a Victorian poorhouse, a formalized version is something you probably wouldn't have been given access to.
Okay.
So she will probably have her own version, I imagine.
If we're being kind of going by historical accuracy,
Yes,
in
please.
the 1880s, sign language faced severe global setbacks after the Second International Congress on Education of the Deaf in Milan in 1880 voted to suppress the use of sign language in favor of oralism, which was the spoken language and lip reading. This decision led to the banning of sign language in many schools, impacting deaf education and communities for decades, despite some resistance from deaf advocates and educators of the time. That was the result of the 1880 Milan Congress. So sign language is not an option here, and her education level would have been negatively impacted. Flippity gibbets, that's not fun, but I think that that's
No,
what.
thank you for sharing that with us,
Thank
though,
you.
because that's a really important thing to get right. Thank you for that.
In
That's
which case,
grotesque.
In the light of that grotesquerie, she does appear to be able to. She's making efforts to communicate, but they are small.
I think Oliviera would go and... Is she sitting down? Is she like sitting down on a seat or a bed or something?
She sat down on a stool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Oliviera would kneel down so that they're eye to eye and do her best, whether it is through speaking clearly enough to allow her to lip read, or through some kind of, not sign language, but through gesture and trying to kind of form pictures or whatever it is, or even through writing things down for her, starts trying to communicate with and reassure this child, essentially. Because she would have, I'm guessing, seen and treated people, including children with meningitis, and knows the effects of it, and just generally also knows how frightening this situation in particular must be for this child in this moment.
Could you make me a willpower influence roll?
Yeah. I just kind of want to get her on side and try and, willpower influence. That is a 14. That is 3 levels of success.
You are able to calm her. And you're able to communicate well enough with her that you're able to sort of get a sense that she sort of once Mary comes out with a bit of food and she's eaten a little bit, she pulls a piece of paper that Katrin provides and is able to. Handwriting's not great, but it seems that she was able to pick up at least a bit of her letters prior to losing her hearing, and she's able to sort of write back and forth messages to you.
Is there anything in particular I would gather from that?
It depends what you're asking. You're able to effectively converse with her.
I would like to ask if there's anything in particular she saw with regards to other children in the workhouse. So that's the first question.
They left.
Okay. All at once?
She nods.
Okay. Did they appear to hear something? Were they following something?
She sort of mimes, she reaches out for Mary and sort of waves her closer and sort of grabs Mary and shakes her slightly.
They didn't respond.
You tried to stop them, and they just carried on. They just went. Okay. As if you weren't there. Okay.
Almost as if they were sleepwalking.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Were they moving quickly, or violently, or just in a dream?
She's trying to sort of read your lips, and she
Just, or kind of miming the kind of movements that they might have had, how fast, how slow,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
She kind of indicates they were just moving at normal pace.
Okay. And all at once, or one by one? All at once? Okay. Okay. What about adults? Did they do anything? Would they? No. Okay. They were asleep. Okay. Okay.
Wait. No, they
You
didn't
tried to
up?
wake them? Would they not wake up? Okay. So the adults were asleep, the children were awake, but not registering. Okay, I kind of pause for a moment, and I want to just tell her how brave she's being and how helpful she's being. I want to just try and get that across as best I can. Maybe kind of if she's comfortable with kind of a hand on the shoulder, a hug, whatever, like just trying to comfort this child who probably feels, with all these adults kind of trying to get at her as well, some feeling of responsibility or guilt, or that she doesn't deserve to feel. Just trying to get that across, that this is not your fault and you did everything you could and people should be proud of you. And kind of, if the rest of the group hasn't gathered what's going on, just kind of relaying any information I've gathered back to them. And asking if there's anything else that they think would be useful to know. Because I don't want to overtax her. She needs to, rest and
The adults
recover from
didn't
the
wake
ordeal.
up, but
Apparently not, no.
some amongst us did.
Yes,
Mm.
I woke up and heard the flute music. I can't understand. If everyone else was being affected, perhaps there's something about the room I was in, or something.
don't know.
Looking back on it, those of you who were woken by something else, so Edmund and Nathaniel, you both remember feeling incredibly sluggish when you first woke.
I would communicate that to the group at that point.
Katrin, did you wake in the night? Or?
I did. I didn't see anything. If I'd known there were children out in it, I'd have.
No, you.
You were woken by something, or?
I'm a light sleeper anyway. I just. I think her eyes flick meaningfully towards Tristan.
No, perhaps the smells of the apothecary. I don't know. It is rather sharp.
Yes. Thomas, Mary, do you think you could? Edith's not had any rest. Do you think you could take her to yours for now and keep her safe? And Thomas sort of looks at Katrin as, of course, Katrin, I'll take care of her as though we'll take care of her. And he sort of picks her up, or sort of shares a look with her and then scoops her up in his arms. And Mary and Thomas Cooper, she does wave over his shoulder towards you as
I feel like Oliviera would do a very, very subtle, just so subtle that it could even just be like her brushing her chin.
Understood.
Thomas, please be careful on the streets.
We're not far.
the church if there's more trouble.
Thank you, Deacon. After they head out, Katrin goes up to the front and closes the door, bolts it, and draws down the blinds, flips the sign to closed. She's wringing her hands. I think it was the fog. She points. It's the first time you've noticed so subtly, because they're hidden just underneath the curtain rail. There are lines of red ribbon strung with small bells along the edge of the front of the shop. They started ringing shortly after midnight. That's what woke me.
You think something was pushing at them, trying to come in?
In a manner of speaking.
Can I try an occultism roll to see if I know what this is, what that means, or what it's for?
Certainly.
Yeah.
May I?
Can I also?
Occultism intelligence. Anyone who wishes
Yeah.
to.
Occultism int.
I'm gonna DP this.
Sure thing.
Draw a point it.
Yeah.
Nothing for Tristan.
I'm just
That
trying
is-
to move my character sheet over so I can see the thing.
That is a.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
I rolled a 20 with 5 levels of success.
I got a
Damn.
15 with 4. So,
Oliviera knows that that's it's a folk magic designed to essentially it's a ward to warn of intrusion, and actually noticing some of the other very subtle, barely there, some of the other small markings in the frames around the windows, around the door,
yeah.
are all indicative of something like that. Edmund not only recognizes them, he recognizes them from his own home, the ones that his mother left behind.
Edmund doesn't say a thing.
Do we notice any kind of shift in Edmund?
No.
Yes. Okay.
Not even a remote fraction of a flicker.
I don't want to take away from all the rolls you did, but Nathaniel wouldn't know anything about this, so he would just come out and ask what she means.
Yeah, Alice would second that.
It's a ward. It's meant to stop things coming into the shop without me knowing. It's meant to stop hexes or curses or anything from affecting those within.
So, like, magic then?
Forgive my ignorance, but is there an element of that that's of a holy connotation as well?
I suppose
and
it's
Edmund's going to side-eye Nathaniel at this point.
I suppose it's sacred to me.
Edmund's then going to give the full explanation to everybody here present of what happened with the fog at the doorway to the church, and give the full and complete description of what happened with the dog and the fog and the other things that rhyme.
Yeah.
So the fog did not wish to tread on holy ground.
Dog and
Or,
the fog at the London smog.
or
Sanctified
the,
ground.
yeah, or the fog simply couldn't penetrate into the building. Honestly, I don't know. But what I do know is that as soon as we were out of that fog or inside the church, little Skippy Dips was absolutely fine. As soon as we were not in that church, he was not happy at all. He was very unhappy.
If the influence of the fog, if the fog is tied to the sound, it's reaching into buildings, it's leading people out of buildings.
Not
How
all
does
such
it have to
buildings
stop
are
at the boundary? You think this is a
Because they-
sanctuary? This is a safe place?
Nathaniel
Completely?
is gonna walk up to the little bells that are hanging by the window, and like reach for one of them, not really touching it, but witchcraft and the like is not welcome in the house of God.
Can I ask a quick question? Sorry, Reno.
Mm-hmm.
When you say didn't touch, were you ringing the bell at all, or just
No.
okay? Cool.
Katrin is staring daggers at you. I'm trusting you because it's children. I'm trusting you because I don't have a choice.
Kristen looks at Katrin and just tries to project reassurance, like the sense that he is on her side in this particular matter.
Edmund is also throwing daggers towards Nathaniel over this one. And he's going to go, he's going to say, "Forgive me, Deacon, I don't mean to overstep myself, but I think that with everything we've seen, particularly with what Miss Sato has informed of us and helped us with in the past, and where we are right now with so much we don't know, is it not fair to say that God works in mysterious ways?"
Nathaniel's gonna turn around and sense the vibe in the room.
Empathize this, you.
Nathaniel did not pass the vibe check.
No. He's gonna take a deep breath and sort of let his shoulder slump and say, "I did not mean to. I'm just questioning the nature of what we're dealing with. Not you or your doings."
Peril as a good deacon means simply that that's why the fog couldn't come into the church.
Precisely. If it is of a magical nature, which at this point I think we can safely assume it is, then it couldn't get through these wards, nor into the grounds of the church. What else might it not have been able to cross? Something similar, perhaps? Other consecrated ground?
Possibly.
Do you know anything that could do something like this, Catherine? The music and the fog, and it was rather eerie.
The missing children makes me think of an old fable. I assume you all know it, the Pied Piper?
Pied Piper of Hamelin, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
It's precisely what it put us in mind of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Pied Piper, that was... Do you remember why he took the children?
He wasn't paid after he was promised payment for ridding the city of, well, the town of a rat problem.
Now, I don't know what might be at issue there, but my instinct is this is whatever that story was about, or something similar.
Do you think, Katrin, that this is beyond the boundaries of human understanding or of human creation and manipulation? Which do you think is more likely?
I'm just a healer, but my mum used to tell me stories of the good people, the good
The
folk.
fair folk.
This feels like that, or at very least, it rhymes with it.
So we're on the hunt for fairies and or rat catchers. And perhaps both.
No. No, last time we thought it was something beyond, and it was human. It was purely human. Could this not be part of the same scheme?
To be honest, I have been wondering that. If it was a single person doing a village like the original fable, I could understand, but this is an entire city. Surely
Beyond the
one
limits of the city, too.
Precisely. Surely one person couldn't have done all of that. Surely there must be multiple involved.
I do feel we're also neglecting one of the core questions here, which is, what are they going to do with that many children?
Everyone can make me an intelligence, knowledge, or occultism roll to remember the Pied Piper legend.
Can I pull out a
Mountain
copy of...
Water.
You can pull out a copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales from your bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hans Andersen, actually. And
Okay.
can I posit that I get a bonus to this roll? Because Nathaniel is specifically closer, well, the place he's from is closer to Hamelin than any of these other people here.
I will give you a bonus. I will also iterate, actually, the Brothers Grimm did write a version of the Pied Piper as
Fair
well, I
and
believe.
valid. Fair and valid.
Because it is a legend. This is a thing that is actually recorded mytho-history.
It goes back to 13th century, I believe.
Yep.
It's
Yes.
very old.
Yeah. That is a 15 with 4 levels of success, which does not at all reflect that Anusha started suspecting this was the case half an hour or so in and was Googling madly about the Pied Piper.
19
Alice
with 5
will-
levels.
Glad-
Yep.
I'm glad the roll reflects it and we can
Yeah.
avoid any risk of meta.
I got 0 levels of success anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh no!
I gave myself a 1 as a bonus, just to be kind, but nah.
I'm going to give this to Tristan, because Tristan, you reach into your bag and pull out.
Yeah.
You pull out a compendium of fairy tales that you own that has a version of the Pied Piper. Where you open the book in your hand and it falls open to the correct page.
How convenient.
Mm-hmm.
This was that
What was it originally written in?
Originally, this is written in German.
Oh, it's in German then.
Yeah. The Pied Piper was contracted by the people of Hamelin to deal with the plague of rats affecting their town. And so he played his magical flute and led said rats to the river, where they drowned. There are differing versions of whether or not the townsfolk simply refused to pay him or offered him a paltry sum compared to what was promised. But the myth, the legend, in all its versions remains the same thereafter. He ensorcelled their children using his flute and led them away to some hidden cavern in nearby hills and kept them there. Now, what happened next depends on the version of the story being told. In some, the townsfolk simply paid the ransom and returned their children. In some, it was a far greater sum than what was originally asked for. But in the darkest versions of the legend, the Pied Piper played his flute, and all the children of Hamelin marched to their death in the river.
Could it be the same place?
I don't know.
We don't know how
Certainly
far
hope
that
not.
system reaches.
It could be the river, or they could be under the hills somewhere. Perhaps one and then the other next.
It's what I'm
It might-
thinking. The cave system.
The ensorcelment that does not appear to work by day, so perhaps we have at least a modicum of time.
Well, I
Edmund.
recommend we not waste any more daylight. We should go.
Edmund is going to exclaim and leap to his feet. Piss and
Edmund.
bones, I'm an idiot. And he's going to race out the door.
And that is where we will end
Oh,
episode
no!
5 of Lanterns of London.
What?
We look forward to seeing you all next week. Good night, everyone.
Bon
Good night.
nuit.